In the vast chronicles of Roman history, countless adversaries tested the might of Rome, yet none proved as relentless and enduring as the fierce Germanic peoples. For over 6 centuries, their bitter struggle shaped Rome's destiny, beginning with an epic conflict known as the Cimbrian War, fought between 113 and 101 BC. By the mid-2nd century BC, Rome had reached its zenith, stretching its grasp across the Mediterranean. Victorious over the Seleucid Empire, Macedon, and the Greek leagues, the Republic controlled vast territories, including recently conquered Gaul. Yet complacency was short-lived. New and formidable foes loomed on Rome's northern horizon. Far to the north, around the Jutland Peninsula, drastic climate changes forced the mighty Cimbri tribe to abandon their ancestral lands. Seeking survival, they migrated southward, joined by their neighbors, the powerful Teutones. Together, they numbered over 200,000 warriors, driven by desperation and strength. Their migration shook the foundations of Europe itself, initially turning eastward into the lands of modern-day Czech Republic. The tribes encountered fierce resistance from the Celtic boy, forcing them to alter their course dramatically. In 113 BC, the massive barbarian host crossed the mighty Danube, plunging into Roman allied territory in Noricum, home to the Celtic Turisci. Terrified by this colossal invasion, the Turisci pleaded urgently for Roman aid. Rome, however, was already suffering internal fractures. The Republic, rich from foreign conquests, saw a widening chasm between the wealthy elites and the impoverished masses, many of whom lost their lands and could no longer serve in the legions. This socio-economic crisis had begun to erode Rome's once invincible military might, casting a dark shadow over its future. Nevertheless, Roman consul Gnaeus Papirius Carbo marched swiftly north, intent on safeguarding Italy. Initially, the Cimbri sought diplomacy, promising peaceful passage. Carbo cunningly agreed, providing guides who secretly led the tribes into a deadly Roman ambush near Noricum. But treachery backfired horribly. The vigilant Germans discovered the trap, launching a furious assault that annihilated Carbo's legions, slaughtering over 20,000 Roman soldiers. Mysteriously, rather than pressing their advantage and invading Italy, the tribes turned westward. Joined by additional Celtic allies, the Tigurini and Teugeni, they ravaged Gaul, spreading terror and chaos among Roman and Celtic settlements alike. Meanwhile, Rome remained distracted, embroiled in the Jugurthine War in distant Numidia, where corruption and incompetence weakened their once proud armies. By 109 BC, the situation had grown dire. The tribal confederation surged into Roman-controlled Gallia Narbonensis, demanding land in exchange for peace. Rome refused, prompting yet another devastating defeat, this time near modern-day Bordeaux, with thousands of legionaries slaughtered. Now truly shaken, the Senate hastily assembled an army of 80,000 men, entrusting leadership to the common-born Gnaeus Mallius Maximus, with the aristocrat Quintus Servilius Caepio as his reluctant second. Class rivalries within Rome proved fatal once again. Caepio's pride prevented cooperation, splitting the Roman army along the Rhone River near Arausio in 105 BC. Ignoring orders, Caepio rashly attacked. His troops swiftly encircled and massacred. Mallius's forces, isolated and overwhelmed, faced a similar horrific fate. In just one day, 80,000 Roman lives vanished, echoing the catastrophic defeat at Cannae a century earlier. Yet fortune strangely favored Rome, for the victorious barbarians once more hesitated, turning their attention instead towards Iberia, plundering as they went. Rome seized this critical respite. Gaius Marius, fresh from victory in Numidia, stepped forward, introducing sweeping military reforms. Allowing landless men into the legions, he created a disciplined, professional army, equipped and trained to unprecedented standards. Legionaries now carried their supplies, vastly increasing mobility and resilience. The old manipular formations were replaced by agile cohorts, revolutionizing Roman warfare. In 102 BC, when the tribal alliance split to invade Italy from two directions, Marius stood ready. Facing the Teutones near Aquae Sextiae, he cunningly drew the Germans into battle. Despite being outnumbered, Roman discipline and Marius's tactical brilliance triumphed spectacularly. 50,000 Teutones fell, their king slain. Their host shattered beyond recognition. Yet the formidable Cimbri remained. Under their fierce leader, Boiarix, they swept aside initial Roman defenses in the Alps, flooding into the fertile plains of northern Italy. Only exhaustion halted their advance, allowing Rome to regroup. In the spring of 101 BC, Marius, joined by the forces of Quintus Lutatius Catulus, confronted the massive Germanic army at Vercellae. There, on a scorching July day, a desperate clash ensued. Marius's superior cavalry swiftly crushed their Germanic counterparts, encircling Boiarix's warriors. The fierce infantry struggle pushed Romans to their limits until the encirclement was complete. Trapped and surrounded, the Germanic tribes were mercilessly destroyed, tens of thousands perishing on the battlefield. The epic Cimbrian War concluded with a bloody Roman victory, reminiscent of Hannibal's defeat generations earlier. Rome survived this existential threat, but at a heavy price. Deep fissures emerged within the Republic, fueling ambition, envy, and ultimately civil strife. Thus began a period of unprecedented turmoil, laying the groundwork for the fall of the Republic and the rise of empire. The Roman world, forever transformed by its bitter conflict with the Cimbri and Teutones, would never be the same again.